Hey, we are live. What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday session. We are just waiting, as always, for Craig to arrive back. He's been playing football in the park with his son, Ryland, the incredible, talented Ryland. I hope you've all had a good weekend. What have you guys been doing? This weekend has felt like the most creative I've been, magic-wise, for a long time. I don't know where that's come from. I don't know whether that's because the weather's starting to break a little bit, or just because, I don't know, I'm very excited about magic and the magic realm right now. But either way, it's been a good one. I uploaded the video of this on Saturday, because we don't do Saturday tutorials, but I actually wasn't very well. I was like pretty under the weather, and and I was like, and so my wife took my son out to play because it wasn't fair for him to stay in. So I came up to my office because normally whenever I'm feeling like run down, I just hole away somewhere, mind the pun. And I just started cutting cards up. I got like my little cutting machine out and things, and started playing with this effect, and it came together, and I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. I'm going to film a video on Saturday. Maybe it'll get me out, like maybe it'll help me feel fresh. You know what I mean. So I did that. So that's what I did on Saturday, and then today went and hung out. And so let me chat to some people in the chat. We got King. Okay, it says hi. Yo, what's up? Chris James, as always. What's going on, Chris? Sean Go. Woohoo! I love Sunday lives. Yes, me too, man. I'm all about the Sunday lives. Keith. Nice to speak to you again, Keith. How are you, man? Oh, happy birthday. Everyone wish Keith a happy birthday. Keith Porter in the chat. It's his birthday today, and he chose to come and hang out at the Sunday session live with all of us, which is pretty incredible. Happy birthday, Keith. It was nice to briefly meet you at Blackpool. We've got Liam Lebanon, who I think that's Liam that I met in Blackpool downstairs with the trick with the... we need to chat. I know I have seen a message, but I got to get time to get back to you. Hopefully it'll be this week. King OK says, Lloyd, what do you think about Andrej's butterfly playing cards with Ukraine? Yeah, guys, if any of you haven't seen Andrei Seneca's butterfly for the Ukraine playing cards, they're incredible. It's an incredible cause, obviously, for the conflict going on in the Ukraine, the war that's been started by Putin and Russia, literally devastating the people in the country. Andrei is, from Europe, and it's very close to home for him, and he's decided to make a signature edition Ukraine charity deck of butterfly cards. And if you all know or don't know, I found out that Craig Petty didn't know the power behind the butterfly cards the other week. He didn't realize they were all edge marked, and just the stuff that you can do with those cards. They're an incredible deck of cards, and there's so much power hidden in them. That the price alone, what is it, $25 is great, but the fact that the profits go to charity for the Ukraine and the war going on there to help all the people makes it like, it's the no-brain magic purchase of the year. So I think that's a great question. I'm so glad we could start out talking about those playing cards. If you don't know where they are, go to penguinmagic.com and search butterfly playing cards Ukraine, and they'll come straight up. Just pick them up, put them in your cart, and do it, because it's for a good cause, and you get an incredibly powerful deck of cards from it. So, my God, the chat's blowing up. So many of us in here. Here's Craig. Let's answer to Craig. Craig!
Yo!
What's going on?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. We are on the Sunday session live.
I'm excited.
I just need to add your screen in, and I need to figure out still how to do this correctly. So give me a moment. How are you feeling? Are you tired after playing football?
It's been a long day, man. It's been a long week. It's been one of those weekends. It's been a really, really, really long weekend.
Why?
Just I've been training today at head office, training some new recruits and non-stop kids, and then I took Ryland to play football. I was up till 3:00 last night editing. I had a gig that I got back late from. Just a busy weekend.
That's just a normal weekend for you, though.
Yeah, just normal weekend. Just a normal weekend.
I'm clicking all the buttons under the sun to try and get you on video with.
I'm excited. If I can get on video, that would be great. I'm going to.
All right, there we go. Right, okay, that's done.
Had Ben Williams, and you've had all these fucking awesome people, and then I just turn up.
Everyone say hi to Craig.
Hi, people.
Hi, everyone. What's going on? Okay, man. The comments, the comment section, the live comments are going crazy. So let's try and catch up. I'll run you through. Nemed said, "Ooh, right on time."
Hey, Nem. Me and Nem are on a road trip tomorrow for a couple of days.
Oh, a couple of days? Where are you going?
Oh, yeah. We're heading over to... where are we heading? The Magic Circle. We're heading to the Magic Circle tomorrow morning. And I'm lecturing at the Magic Circle tomorrow night. And then...
Oh, I can watch you live through the Facebook then.
Oh, thank you. And then after that... we're going straight over to Kent, and then I'm going to be at Houdini's Bar and Magic Lounge, filming a new project for Alakazam on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then back on Wednesday, and then I don't know if it's going to happen, but on Thursday, that's when you and I had arranged with that certain somebody to come.
Yes.
And so we need to talk about that.
Yeah, he wants to jump on a call tomorrow, actually, to sort out the logistics of that, so we should do that.
Cool.
For the weekend. So let's try and catch up some of these comments. Punk BMX says, being made redundant has made me think about magic even more, and I wonder what's the best way to get into the industry other than performing.
Other than performing? Wow. Well, I mean, I'm not the person to ask, really, because I got into the industry through performing. But, I mean, Lloyd, you're not a performer, and you're... very successful in the magic industry, so you're the person to speak to about that. I mean, your route into magic was very weird, wasn't it? Because you set up your own company, Enigma, and then you ended up working for Illusionist and now Murphy's. So, I mean, out of everybody, you're the person to kind of answer that really more than me, because all I've ever done my entire career is perform, and then off the back of performing, lecture and create.
Yeah, true. I mean, I was never interested in performing, so... For me, I loved like video design. Oh, obviously creating is my number one thing. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm the number one at it, but my number one interest. And so those skills lead to essentially like product creation, like by coming up with an idea, giving it to somebody to perform and test. I mean, I can perform. I'm not interested in doing it. For my profession, so either handing the tricks to other people or performing them to test them out, and then the other skills like video editing, photo design and shit, that sort of all come together to make products. And when I started putting products together and people started liking them and buying them, I got offered work in the industry. So for me, I was interested in, I mean, it was like a natural interest in creating products. But if you're like, I know people that have jobs doing like web development for Magic Company. They love Magic, but they just do web development, and that goes hand in hand. You gotta think like what jobs are out there in the industry, and then just.
I've seen if you are good at videography and editing, there's always a position for you at a Magic Company somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed that a lot of the guys that work for Penguin, when I was over at Penguin, like they're really good at video editing and video production. Although they do all the creating and that side of things, they also do a lot on the video side of things. And I know you did at Illusionist as well, didn't you? Less so much with Murphy's, but would you say if you're good at video editing and you're good at like videography, would that stand you in good stead as a Magic Company?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's always Magic is always looking for good videographers. But anything like I know people that are in Magic companies that do customer services, or people that are just really great with admin work. People that are good in the warehouse, gimmick building. There's so many. I mean, it's a regular industry aside from like serving food and drink. It's a very normal industry compared to other things as well. So you can get into it in a multitude of different ways. But yeah, so I think it depends on what. I think it's better to have interests in something though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing anyway. So let's. Poison says, "How are you?"
Me or you?
You.
I'm me. Me? You must know about me. I'm a box of fluffy ducks, thank you, Poison. I've never been better. Fucking boo, I am. I'm just wonderful.
Do you do the biddle trick, Craig?
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time. I've done it.
I'm obsessed with upping the ante with it. And, like just like adding some things to it. So...
It's a damn near perfect trick, really, Lloyd. I mean, it's as close to perfect as you're going to get.
It is as close to perfect as you're going to get, but you think about the reaction the biddle trick gets. They're fucking incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you could get... So, but knowing that there's space to make those reactions bigger by adding things to it or whatever, I think then... you know that because it's like because you can get bigger reactions, why not go for it? So I was just messing with some ideas today, and I'm just wondering if you've ever come up with some. I've seen some great like applications of the biddle trick out there.
Not really much that I've ever done with it, really, to be perfectly honest. It's not really. It's not a plot that I've explored too much. It's not something that I've really spent too much time. Bless you. It's not really spent much. I've spent too much time on. I think you're probably right, and I think if I put my thinking cap on, I could probably think of some stuff. But what you mulling around at? What's
just a bunch of different things. But one thing I come up with as playing with today, I won't say the full thing, but was first of all the card that they chose ends up having a different color back. So because I think like, you got this moment in there, right, where if I can see my camera, where they spread to the cards at the end, and that's the end of the trick. Boom. And I thought, well, just like John Gustavus says, like 1 degree extra to pull it out and have it blue or a different color, because that's free. Do you know what I mean? That ending is free if you put a little bit of extra in. It's a free thing. So I think because I was thinking, well, the biddle trick is amazing at this point. People freak out. I thought, well, how can I keep that going? I thought, well, that would be good.
Yeah.
And then I thought of something else, which I'll show you in the week. I think I'm going to actually film it on Kaylee, but a way to take it further again and then further again, and because it's so powerful as an impromptu trick. And I thought, well, the best tricks sometimes are not impromptus if you put a little bit of extra work in that the spectator doesn't see coming. And then to take from this, I was just wondering, because there's not many tricks you haven't tackled or changed or put your spin on.
True, but the biddle trick is one that I haven't really. Although I have explored that plot of like taking an existing card routine and changing it up like that. On a previous Sunday session, I showed you the Triumph I do, the in the hands Triumph, where at the end of the Triumph routine, you end up with a 4 of a kind production and then a deck vanish. So it's kind of like similar sort of thing. The deck sorts itself out. There's one card that's face up. How can you then take that to the next level? Yeah. And I put on a Magic Live just recently, which I've actually got on Netrix, I believe, when that launches, is a sandwich routine where you take two sandwich cards out, like 2 kings. You do like a 3-phase sandwich routine, but then as a kicker, the entire deck turns red when you were using a blue deck all the way through, and there's some incredible displays. Then the selected card changes color, and then finally the 2 sandwich card changes color, and everything's examinable. So I love the concept of taking an existing classic and adding extra kickers on it. I've just never thought about doing with the biddle trick.
Well, I would love to know, like, if you go off this week, your homework for the week. Go off and see where, because you could probably, knowing you'd probably turn in the whole deck of cards into a key or something mental like that.
That is something that I like to do. Tricks with keys.
You mentioned the word Netrix just then.
Well, you're the first person to actually see the behind the scenes of it. They've set you up on the system. You should have an email at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock today with all the login details and the video of how to access everything.
For anyone listening that doesn't know what the Netrix is, you should give everyone a quick rundown.
I'm here to pimp my shit. But yeah, it's basically, but having said that, allow me to pimp my shit.
Do it.
So I've spent the last 2 years setting this platform up, and it's basically, Netflix for magicians, hence the term Netrix. We're wondering how long it's going to take us to get sued. Probably a couple of weeks. I don't know, but we'll see. But it's basically Netflix for magicians. And what it is it's going to launch. Anybody who knows me knows that I don't half-arse anything. It's either all or nothing. So it's launching with 100 routines. And each routine, and you've seen the behind the scenes, it's got a landing page, it's got information about the trick, it's got the sleights, the difficulty level, it's got a trailer, and then you go in, it's so intuitive. So it's launching with 100 different routines from people like Adam Wilber, Justin Miller, Lloyd Barnes, Chris Congreve, Steve Della, myself, Dave Loosely. The list goes on and on and on, plus a couple of names to be announced. It's also got a full-on section on marketing. It's got a full-on section on theory. There's a ton of stuff on theory, like how to get residencies and stuff like that, how to get more gigs, all this sort of stuff. Then, depending on the level that you're in at, there's a virtual magic club, which is a live thing every week, which is like a live virtual magic club just for members. There's a community in there. There's like a virtual business coach on how to actually get more gigs and make more money, and it's like a virtual business coach, not just a trick. And there's a virtual magical mentor on how to level up as a performer. And we're committed to every fortnight 5 new tricks as well as theory will be added to the site every fortnight. So every 2 weeks. So every month there's 10 new tricks. 10 new tricks every single month. It launches with 100, 10 new tricks every month, as well as extra stuff on theory and marketing. And the sleight school, there's a separate thing on there, which is like sleights, and there's over 400 sleights. And there's more being added. I didn't realize there was 400. That must be close to covering every sleight that's relevant to magic. Really. There's a hell of a lot, like a hell of a lot. So yeah, it's all, and you're the first person to see the behind the scenes outside of my team in the office. Man, thank you so much. It's so expansive. It's so big, and there's so much to it. I've never seen anything of that size in the magic world. A streaming service that has everything. It's I know there's so many attempts out there that have tried it, but this is the one that I'm like, if I was gonna, like when the start of like Google, Amazon, and all these things, and you have to pick one, like if I was gonna put my money on one for 10 years' time to be the one, this is it. This is really, really something special. I'm honest. I every single trick has got trailers on it and everything, and it's all. But I haven't tried to make them all flashy trailers, because that's not what it's about. It's designed that when people are in there, they get an overview of what the trick is. Yes, I want to learn that. I'm going to go into it. So there's probably platforms out there that have flashier trailers that have just been incredibly well produced. But what this has is it's very user intuitive. You literally know exactly what you're doing. You've got your own dashboard. You've got like for example, just little bits like each individual trick has got its own discussion forum, so you can chat with other people that are learning that trick. When you stop looking at it on one device and start looking at it on the other device, it immediately starts playing from the same place. You can download stuff on there. Just all stuff like this. I was just going to ask, can you download? Because I'm deciding tomorrow whether I'm going to Magic Live or not. And I will be binging that thing on the flight if I go. I decided to do it as downloads. I was going to say no, but my attitude is, because obviously I was thinking, people can go in there and download everything. But there's too much footage for them to download. And every month we're uploading 10 new tricks. There's but on top of that, theory and marketing and new sleights. And there's this virtual magic club every week, where every week it gets recorded and it gets put into your account. So I've just thought, it would be so much easier for people to download it and then watch it on the go. So it's all downloadable. What's the launch date? I'm thinking I'm going to go for the 3rd of April. I haven't said that to anybody. I haven't announced it anywhere, but I'm lecturing at the Wessex Magic Convention on the 3rd of April. I'm lecturing. It's a killer convention down south. And they've got the gala show in the evening is insane. They've got Richard Jones, they've got Jamie Dawes, they've got Megan Swan, they've got some incredible lecturers, and they've just booked me to lecture. And I thought, why not launch it there? So I'm going to launch it on the 3rd of April. Which part of the country is Wessex? Is it
Is
It's
it?
down south. It's Bournemouth.
Is it Bournemouth? Let me see.
Not a million miles away from you.
95 miles, 3 hour drive. I'm not going. But it sounds amazing. I just had a quick check. So let me get into the chat because the chat is so filled up. First, I got a quick question. Someone says, what's the name of the cutting machine? Which is this cutting machine. It's called Jax, Jacs. Jax. It's just this thing. It has a little screw out razor blade that comes out and in, and it comes with spares. That's what's rattling, and this is what I use. I don't like it. I don't think it's very good. I just didn't have another cutting machine. It was for. Do you see that trick that I posted, Craig, with the holes in the jacks?
It was insane.
The Jokers.
It reminded me of Holy Terror from Richard's Elmagnac, but better.
Yeah, I mean, it's inspired by loads and loads of different good pieces of magic. Of course, this isn't as good as the rest, but it was just a. I was just saying at the start. I just sat in the office. I was feeling like I had like a 24-hour bug on Saturday. Kaylee went out with the kid, and I just sat in the office playing with. I literally just. It's a fucking mess here. And I just cut stuff up, and then I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I was like, this could actually be filmed. Oh, I can show it on camera. For a little tutorial. And then I just did it all in one day.
Oh, it looks amazing, mate. It really does.
It's just the most basic gimmick ever.
But it looks so good.
What's nice is that these can be examined beforehand. So when you cop this in, people are not so suspicious because they feel like they've examined everything. So 1, 2... Oops. Which feels impossible, but yeah, like it's Chris Mayhew's. Is it called Holy? Is an inspiration. It's just it's just like you said, like there's so many versions of it out there. Just very very basic. Well, I just thought it was nice, but I put it up and the video's blowing up for my channel. It wasn't supposed. It was just whenever I'm sick, I just do magic.
Most of your videos are blowing up these days.
No.
No, they are. They are.
So that's enough from me. OFR Magic said, what's up, guys? Lee Raybone says, hey, all. Sean Goff has a good question. What would be your tip recommendation for forcing an item? I currently use Sven pads, but I think I might get DFB.
Apex. Next.
Apex? What's Apex, Craig? I would love to know more about Apex, whatever it is.
Well, it's a new app that is being... released through Murphy's Magic, and it's been developed by Joshua Riley, who was behind Cognito, and with multiple ideas by Lloyd Barnes, and it's basically a way of forcing any object. No, I can't really say much, can I?
No, that's it. But aside from that, I think DFB is very, very good. If he's needed to get something...
Nick Einhorn is... I've got a video on the Hows and Whys of...
DFB.
Hows and Whys of DFB, and, it's an incredible app. It really is.
Yeah. The digital force bag, I used it in my TEDx talk. It is the modern... forcing bag. Was it called a force bag?
Yeah, force bag.
Yeah, it's the modern force bag. I mean, Apex is something different as it allows you to do stuff. It
is a different thing. Yeah.
You can say it, I think, about the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, so one perfect example is you've got an album on your phone, on your notes, on your phone album, but it's an album in your phone. That's the key thing. It's not like an app or anything. You have an album set up on your phone with 100 different pictures of Rubik's Cubes. They're all orientated in a different way. And you say, hey, I practice solving Rubik's Cubes every single time I mix up a cube. I take a picture of it to help with the algorithms. There's 100 different pictures here. What I want you to do is I've got a real Rubik's Cube. I'm going to mix it up. Just say stop. They say stop, and then somebody else goes into the real album on your phone and picks one of the pictures of the photos, and they can see they're all different. And the Rubik's Cube that they mixed up and the Rubik's Cube that the picture matches. So it's like a matchup with just one regular Rubik's Cube and a phone. That's the sort of thing that it can do.
Yeah, which things like that you couldn't, basically it's like forcing images, and there's a way about it as well, which is really cool, but it's forcing images, which as powerful, and I fucking love DFB. I think I pimp it off to everyone, but you can't do certain things with it like that, which is why this exists. Because to solve a problem that you had. You wanted to have something like that. Ben Williams says, "What up, boyos?" Oh, and Nemed's
Ben.
corrected me. He's just said that the Ukraine butterfly cards are normal; they're not marked. I think, and then someone else has said Daniel Martin's ordered 2 decks of them, and somebody said they're not marked so they can appeal to a wider audience. Liam says, "Hi, Craig." Gyro says, Gyro? I don't know. Gyro says, "Ola from Spain."
Spain. I was training somebody from Spain today.
Oh, was you? Ben says he loves that my desk is an absolute mess. Magic for Beginner says, "I spoke to Daniel Madison about the video stuff for Magic, and that was something I was looking to go down. That's always a good route, I think." Yeah, so there you go. Somebody called Reese Lappin says, "Good afternoon from Blackpool."
Good old Blackpool.
I didn't know Blackpool was alive after people left it for the Magic Convention.
No, people do actually live there, Lloyd. Yeah.
William says, "Hey guys from Malta. We have people from all over the world in here today."
And then you've got me from Cannock.
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 Magic Beginner says, "Briefly spoke to Craig at Blackpool too about some merch for the Magic podcast and gave him my number if you're still both interested in getting some stuff done."
Yes, I've lost his number because I was probably drunk. I was most of Blackpool.
Oh, God,
I actually did want to speak to you if you're here. Please email me at cp@themagicpodcast. What is it? Co. cp@themagicpodcast.co. Yeah, drop me an email. I'll give you a call next week.
What's his name?
I can't remember. I was drunk. I remember having the conversation, and I remember thinking afterwards, "Oh my God, I had that I had that conversation with that guy." I was either drunk or just running around crazy at Blackpool.
Sorry, I'm just being very rude, and I'm Instagramming. I'm sending a message to someone.
And why not?
Okay, sorry. Okay, we have so many comments going in. It might be off topic, but does Picasso Pro currently work flawlessly with Android? I have nothing to do with Picasso Pro or any of the Illusionist apps. I did have the ideas for them when I worked there, but now they've all been taken and changed into different things. And so unfortunately, I know some people still associate them with me, and in some cases they have my name on them, but from what my understanding is that they're very different apps now. So aside from the core ideas, they're unfortunately nothing to do with me. Everyday carry for a mentalist, Craig.
Gossip
by Craig Petty.
Okay, stuff. Pimp my shit, part 2. Now, I would say it starts by having a good mentalism wallet. And that would be either the Orphic wallet or, the Nexus is good, or the Stealth Assassin is the daddy of all of those types of wallets. I would suggest really stuff that fits inside that wallet that's really good. Steve Deller's route. Steve Deller's got a version of Steve Deller's Will to Read, I think it's called, is quite good, which is just a piece of paper that fits inside a wallet.
Oh, really?
Alexander Marsh's Thy Will Be Done, which is another version of the same plot using a tarot card. That fits in there quite well.
I'm looking as well because this is great. That's Thy Will Be Done, right?
Yep.
This is amazing. Iris.
Iris is brilliant.
By Lewis Laval.
2 things in 1914 work really well. Also, your friend Rory Adams, if you set up his book test on the phone, that becomes the perfect everyday carry, because you can just literally have it set up for a common book that you can borrow, whatever, and then it's on your phone and you're good to go.
Here's a question, Craig, because speaking about phones, 3 you can keep. Don't worry about me. You can keep 3 magic apps on your phone for the rest of your life, and every other magic app you have to delete. Go.
I do. Cognito. It has to be Cognito.
I said.
Oh no, mate. I'm serious though. I genuinely am serious. I do it all the time. So it'd have to be Cognito. R-Digit.
You showed me R-Digit. I still need to pick that up.
Mate, I do that all the time. I use that so much. And so R-Digit. And the Patrick Kuhn's timeline, where the phone goes back in time, I do that a lot at gigs. You know, the one where it feels like you've gone back in time. It's.
Oh, I had a really fun routine for that, which was you'd make somebody disappear with it.
Oh wow!
So I come up with it when I was on my honeymoon in Florida, and so it's basically the effect is that you sit down with somebody, you take a photo of them on their phone, and then you show the time. You go back in time, and they vanish from the photo in their phone, and then it would be done with timeline. It's a bit more work to get it done with their phone, but all you basically do is you do it at like a coffee shop or anything, and.
Can I be back in 1 second? I've got a very important call.
Yeah, I can keep this
right back.
Yeah,
I will be back in 1 second. I promise.
Go for it. So I'll talk to everyone here. So the idea would be that so it's easier on your phone to do it, but there's ways to do it on their phone. But basically, I was at a Starbucks getting coffee. I sat down when the person was going to order the coffees for us. So I took a photo. I found a coffee cup on another table, put it where they would be sitting in front of me, and took a photo of their seat with their coffee cup in front of it, and then put it back just as they were busy doing things. And then I went up and stood back in the queue with them. I said, "Oh, there's no seats." So I can't remember what I said, but basically I acted like I went to the toilet, like I never even sat down. So then when we come and sat down in the same place, waited like half an hour drinking coffee, then said, "Oh, let me show you something cool." Pretended to take a photo of them in their seat with the cup in the same position. I went into it from there. You could obviously work out the rest of the details. Like, you don't need me to explain it, but it was a really fun thing to do, which is like a bit of a different take on just going back in time in that way. So I use it like as a vanish thing, but it's really fun. So, but I'll answer the EDC. Oh, by the way, Chris James, yes, Patrick Kuhn has a great Biddle trick routine on his Penguin Live. I think it's the one where they take the photo on their phone, right, and the card vanishes from the photo. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, that's a really, really good one. Keith, I can see that you said you have something you'd like to chat to me about privately. If you can message me on Facebook, I think we chatted over on, that would be great. Rollins, Yenga, what's up, Lloyd? What's up, man? Anthony Povey really liked Lloyd's lottery prediction trick. Thanks, Anthony. The lottery prediction trick, obviously I call it a lottery prediction trick, but it is so much powerful magic you can do with it. That I haven't showed yet. And one of the things, I don't know if I'm going to tease it or not. I won't tease it now, but I'll come back to it. But obviously you can use it to force numbers in a really interesting way, but you can do something else mentalism related with it, which no one's going to see coming. And you know what I'm like with apps. I like to try and flip things on their head. So I think you're all going to be excited when I can start releasing more information about that. And the only reason that we're not is just to stop people sort of implementing these ideas into their own apps. So Michael Lawrence, I'm hyped for this. Yes, Michael, I'm hyped to be here too. Is there any mem deck stuff on it? I don't know. I think that's regarding Netrix. Sean, I'll ask Craig when he gets back now. He's just going to take a call real quick. I see Daniel Myers says, Craig, if your boys anything to go by, this teaching platform will be the dog's danglers. Exactly, it's going to be incredible. Juan Romanos says, what do you guys think about Illusionist Magic Stream? Again, I was a key part of it whilst I was at Illusionist. I actually suggested to Illusionist on my first ever summit that they needed to do a streaming platform. This is way like sort of Netflix's infancy of expanding globally. So this was like back in 2015. That was when I first suggested doing a streaming service to Illusionist. It started off good. I have no idea what it's like there now at all. But it was good at the time when it finally dropped. David Peace. Hi guys, what's up, David? Hero is a regular tuner inner. Thank you for being here. Okay, that was great. Thanks for sharing. Steve Gore. Hey Steve, how you doing, man? Steve, you have a great Mark deck out, which I think is amazing. I hope more people get to see it. Steve K. Apparently Lloyd needs to be sick more often. Get sick more often. What's up, Caleb? What's going on, dude? Chris said most other magicians would have slapped a $30 price tag on the whole gimmick. Well, maybe. I don't know. I think it's too. The thing is with gimmicks like this, they're hard to get made in mass. for the whole trick. So the gimmicks are hard to get made in production for mass, and I think it's unfair to get people to make them pay for it and then make it themselves. So I figured just teach it, you know.
Sorry about that, Lloyd. I had a very important phone call that I had to deal.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
Sorry. Where were we?
Back in business. I was just running through some questions. Let me go and find out who it is. I think it's Sean Goff asked, is there any Memdeck stuff on the Netrix?
There is a couple of things, but there's going to be more over the first 2 months. I know what the first 2 months worth of releases are, and there's going to be more coming soon. However, there is some stuff on launch, yes.
What type of stuff?
Stuff with a Memdeck. I've got an any card at any number, which is probably one of the best any card at any numbers that you've ever seen. And
have I seen that one?
No, you haven't. And I'll tell you what else is there on launch. That thing that I showed you at the London Magic Convention with the one ahead principle that you really liked.
Oh, that's what I thought. It might be.
Which I love that. I love doing that. I do that all the time.
Oh yeah. Speaking of one ahead, Rory Adams' blog. He's now managed to get hold of oneahead.com. So for anyone that's a massive fan of Rory and his blog, oneahead.com is the new place to go. I love it. So how many Memdeck items are on there?
Initially on launch, I think 2 plus a video on how to actually an overview video on Memdeck stuff.
Nice.
But then there's more coming out in the first 2 months. It's tricky because there's some people that hate Memdecks and never use them, and I have to balance that with the fact that, you know, I want something to be on there for everything. So I could very easily have half the platform dedicated to Memdecks, but you know, there's a certain percentage of people that don't use them. They're idiots, the people that don't use them, obviously. But I mean, there is a percentage of people that don't use Memdecks for whatever reason. So I have to balance it out.
Yeah. Going back, these comments sort of run away from us. I wanted to mention on air, I think, that people were asking me why was I releasing with Illusionist with Cypher Pro. So Cypher Pro is a version, a new version of my trick that I co-created back at Illusionist called Cypher, which was the first toxic forcing calculator app that would steal information at the same time. And there's a new one out called Cypher Pro, and my name was on it as one of the co-creators. I have no idea why, because, you know, aside from the core initial idea of it, it's all changed. Like the version that I worked on when I was there was a web app. It had certain features, and I had planned to do a Cypher 2, which would have very, very out there wild ideas built into it that no one still ever put out into production. But the new version has none of that stuff in there. So
contractually, Lloyd, you wouldn't be allowed to do anything with Illusionist anyway, even if you wanted to.
I mean, Murphy's a super chill. If I ever, which I definitely never ever will ever again in my life. But you know, but I wouldn't work with them. You know, that's the main thing. Anyway, I checked. Someone sent me a message today. Quite a few people, and because I'd publicly said I don't know. People were buying it after so many people bought Cognito and loved it, and you know, thankfully, like all the votes and everything have gone towards it for all these competitions and stuff, and all the great reviews. People went and bought Cypher Pro because my name was on it, thinking that that's the next app that I'm bringing out. So they want to, like, I literally have screenshots saying they bought. Well, I'll read some of the screenshots out, just so people can get an understanding of why we're even talking about this. But
very frustrating for you.
Super frustrating. So like Gus Garcia says, I bought it on the assumption that you were involved and how pleased I am with Cognito. I still feel burned by the first version and thought this was your next project. Because when I left, they stopped supporting the first version and pissed off all the customers. Again, another one, Sting Koenig. I think Sting usually drops into he says, I was also fooled into buying it. And then something not very nice about Illusionist followed up. And then a bunch of other people said exactly the same thing. And it was just perplexing to me as why my name was on it. And also it's not fair to the people that are buying things to support, thinking they're supporting me and my ideas when they're categorically not. Either way, my name's not on the product anymore. So...
Oh, good.
Yeah. Like a step in the right direction for them. But, you know, it shouldn't have been on there in the first place. But anyway, it doesn't matter now. So I'm glad it was a bright start to the day. Finding that out.
That's good. I'm glad about that.
Yeah, politics aside, it would just be weird in general to find out that your name's on a product which you weren't involved in. You know what I mean? And you've been there.
Yeah,
so,
I have. I have. Yeah, it's weird.
Very, very strange, but flattery, maybe?
Well, but yes. I mean, you could. There's two ways of looking at it. The first way is they were putting your name on it to pay homage to you because you did create the original cipher, and they wanted to credit you. Although the easiest way to do that would be based on an idea by Lloyd instead of actually explicitly stating that you were. Or the other way is they know how. The other way to look at it is they know how successful Cognito is, and your name is pretty big in the app market. And by attaching your name to a new app after the success of after the success of Cognito would be beneficial to any product that came out that was app based. Those are really the only two reasons to do it.
Either way, everyone knew the answer would be to just ask.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway, so moving on. But I wanted to get that out there because I know some people probably were tuned in to find out about asking. Like somebody asked about Picasso Pro earlier in the comments, and I assume that there'd be more comments coming in about this situation as well. So maybe we'll cut the head off the snake early on. Anyway, let's see. Man, these comments. There's so many. Ryan Schultz's Random Happenings is great for EDC. It's actually a stage piece, but great for everyday carry.
I talked about that on my channel.
What is it?
Random Happenings is a book, and the whole concept, somebody did it on Penn and Teller Foolish, and you rip the book up into lots of pieces as part of the thing. You rip the book up, and then you end up by ripping up the book into pages are going everywhere, and you end up with one page. And you give them the page, and they rip it up into half, and then in half again, then in half again, then in half again. They take one of the pieces, they pick a word on there, they remember the word, and your prediction that you've had in full view the whole time matches. And it is very, very strong. And basically, without giving the method away too much, the book is specially printed, and the majority of the book, all of the pages are the same. The page layout is designed to very, very cleverly force one of two words. So when they rip it up, although it feels like they could be thinking of anything, when they rip it up into bits and they look at a piece, they're only thinking of one of two words. And you've got a two-way out. It's very clever.
Wow, that's great.
So what I said on my channel is I said the best way to do this is not to do it as a stage piece. As part of the package, you get an absolute ton of pieces of paper. And they're all because you replace a page each time. When you rip it up, you put it back together, replace a page each time. So I'm like, take the page, fold it up, put it in your wallet, and now you've got this really cool moment where you can take a page out. You say, I ripped a page out of a book the other day. We're going to try and do something. Take this page, rip it up, think of a word, and you can predict what word they're thinking of.
Yeah, that's good. That stops you ruining one each time.
I thought of a really crazy any card at any number today while I was at the park with Ryland.
Go on. At the park, because that's normal. To think of any cans at parks.
I haven't made it up, but it would work. I'm thinking it would work, and it's actually quite a neat idea. What you'd need 2 decks of cards. Tell me if you've ever explored this before, because this is kind of nuts.
Okay.
You need 2 decks of cards, and what you're going to do is you're going to randomly shuffle the cards, right? And then you're going to take a big, bold Sharpie marker, one of those chisel tips. And you're going to take all 52 of the cards, shuffle them up, and randomly, you're going to write numbers from 1 to 52 on the cards as you turn, but on the faces of the cards.
So kind of like how you learn mnemonic.
Yeah, so let's say the first card's the Ace of Hearts, you write a 1. Whatever the next card is a 2. But you randomly shuffle a card, then you take the deck face up, and you write 1 to 52 on the face of all the cards.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You then take 2 cards out. Doesn't matter which 2 cards, you take 2 cards out. Let's just say you take out the 4 of Hearts, which has got 15 written on it, and you take the 7 of Diamonds, which has got 22 written on it, for example.
Right.
And what you're going to do is you're going to take a normal deck of cards, and you're going to put the 4 of hearts is going to go into the 22nd position, and the 7 of diamonds is going to go into the 15th position. So in other words, you switch them round. Does that make sense? So if you've got a 4 of hearts with 15 on, you put that 4 of hearts in the 22nd position, and you've got a 7 of diamonds with 22 on, that goes in the 15th position in the regular deck. So you've got
Before
a regular
you begin.
deck. Before you begin. So that's your setup. It's just an idea that came to me in the past. So in other words, you've got a regular deck of cards.
When I have ideas, it's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to put a brick into a light bulb? And yours is like this fully fledged Rain Man style, figured out mathematical principle.
Bear with me, this is pretty cool, right? So you've got 2 cards. You could cull those into position and use a regular deck if you want to, but you've got 2 cards in a position. Then all you're going to need to do is grab your Orphic wallet or a Himba wallet or whatever deck you want to use, whatever wallet you want to use. And those 2 cards that you've took out, you put in one side of the Himba wallet or the Orphic wallet. So you bring your wallet out.
Yeah.
And then you bring out your 2 deck of cards. And you say, this deck over here, which is the deck where you've got 2 cards set up, you say, I'm going to give you that to hold on to. That's my prediction. You then take out the other deck and you say, this is kind of a weird deck because I took a deck of cards and I wrote on the face of every card a number, and it's all completely random. What I want you to do is take these cards and shuffle them face down. So they shuffle the cards face down, which feels really fair. And you say, take any 2 cards out that you want and don't look at them and just deal them on the table. So they deal 2 cards on the table. You say they don't know. And you say, I'm just going to pop those away into my wallet for a minute. So you put those away in the wallet. And then you obviously do the turnover, whether it's a Himba or an Orphic. So you're turning them over. So they think they've put 2 random cards in there, but you've switched them for the 2 cards that you took out earlier on. Right. So now you then pick up the deck and you say, think about this. You shuffled the cards and you took any 2 cards out, and you can see that every card has got a different number on it. You can look at those if you want to. I'll put those over to one side. Now, I gave you that deck from the very beginning. The 2 cards that you've took out, now you point to the 2 cards that they've apparently took out, but you've switched the other 2 in. The 2 cards in there, one of them is going to have, both of them have got numbers on them. And then you take them both out. You say, which card would you like to represent the number? Which card would you like to represent the card? So they say they want this one to be the number. I'm like, okay, that one's 22. If you'd picked this one, it would have been 15. And if you'd had any of the other cards, it would have been a different number. But you've ended up on 22 from a deck you shuffled. And this one then is going to be the card, which is the 7 of diamonds. And again, if you picked this one, it would have been the 4 of hearts. And if you picked any other card in the deck, it would have been any other card, because you shuffled and you took any 2 cards out that you want to. But you've ended up with 22 and 7 of diamonds. You now have them take the deck out that's been with them the whole time, count down to a 22nd position, and that's the 7 of diamonds.
Holy shit.
And they do the dealing and they do the counting.
Could this be done with the Gemini Principle?
Maybe.
You know the Gemini Principle where you deal the top... let's see if I can show you my camera so you can see. The Gemini Principle is like... Get rid of these. If these 2 are the... Shut up, Siri. If these 2 are the force cards, it's like you deal down... So you put a force card on top and bottom. So that would be the 7 of diamonds with the writing on. This would be the 4 of hearts. Mm-hmm. And you deal down, right? Imagine they're face down though, obviously. And someone drops like a card in.
Oh, I know the Gemini Principle. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you do it again. Boom, 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 boom. And put another marker card in. And then when you spread through, that's one force card. And then they spread through again. And that's the other force card. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Would that achieve the same outcome?
Without using the wallet, you're thinking here?
Without using the wallet, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in essence, what we're trying to do here is we've got a deck of cards that have got numbers on the faces.
Yeah.
And but that would do it. I just like the idea of them shuffling. You say, look, these cards have all got different numbers on. They've all got, every card has got a different number on. Shuffle them up as much as you want to. And take any 2 cards out that you want to. Do not look at them. And if you want to change your mind and go for a different 2 cards, you can. It's totally up to you. You have a completely free choice. And if
you just explained this to everybody in the stream. You've just explained this to everyone in the stream. It's a fucking brilliant trick.
I just think it'd be a really golden idea.
I like the premise as well. I like the premise alone.
It's an interesting way of forcing, because you're not forcing anything really. Well, you are. You're forcing a card and a number. But I love the idea that they're shuffling the cards. They have a free choice, apparently, of any card. They have a free choice of any number. But then I love the fact that you're switching those other two cards in. But even when you switch them in, you're giving them one final choice. Which one's going to be the number? Do you want this one? Do you want this one? Whichever one you pick, the other one's going to be the card. What do you want? Because you put those two cards into that position, they can have a totally free choice at the end there. And
could you? Oh, yeah. No, go on.
And here's the thing: the deck that's set up, you could use that as a regular deck, because you could make the two force numbers something that's really easy, like the ace of hearts and the ace, the ace of hearts and the two of diamonds, and you can have it in like the 7th and the 12th position, so it's really easy to call to. So you can have a regular deck, and as you're going into, you say, you've got the, let me do one last thing. We've been using this deck to do our 75 phase ambitious card routine. We're going to do one last thing. I'm just going to put those over there. I'm going to case them in the case. You hold on to that. We've been shuffling that. You've shuffled. I've shuffled. I'm not going to touch that deck. I've got this other deck here. I've wrote numbers on each card because that's how I roll. You shuffle the cards completely. I've got a wallet here. If I don't get this right, you get 20 quid. Take any two cards out of the deck that you shuffle. Don't look at them. Put them in the wallet. Remember, you're going to get 20 quid. Now think about this. You could have picked any card. Each one's got a different number on. There is no pattern. These are the two cards that you pick. One's got a number on it. One's got a card. Both have got numbers. You're going to make one final choice. Which one do you want to have represent the number? Which one do you want to have represent the card? This is the number, this is the card. Are you sure? So that is 7 of diamonds. That is position number 22. If you got it the other way, it would have been completely different. If you shuffled it into an order, that would have been completely different. I haven't touched the cards. Those cards have been with you the whole time. They've been shuffled. We've used them the whole way through. 7 of diamonds, 22. That was your decision. Go down to the 22nd card, 7 of diamonds.
Pete Booth says, how long were you at this park? Dude, this is seriously brilliant. But I'm thinking, could you stack an entire deck like that? So you have a regular deck stacked so that every card written randomly is at every position in the other deck. And then...
Oh, I see what you mean. You probably could.
Probably could, because that would make it really fucking out there. Like, it would make it very, very, very impossible.
Yeah.
By the way, my mother's texted me. She's watching the live stream.
Hey, Lloyd's mum, how you doing? Hope you're well.
Fuck off. Yeah. You can't come in here. It's magic secret.
I'd like to apologise for your stuff. Damn.
All right, we got a ton of comments, man. Von de Leon says, hey, Lloyd, how's it going from Qatar? William, which we met, who did this effect. William, by the way, you performed this on Craig in my Blackpool video. Says,
oh, killer trick.
Very, very good trick. Well done, William. Says, what's the release date of the lottery prediction app? Probably like a month or two away, maybe a little bit longer. Liam Lebanon says, Azzy Wynn has a brilliant biddle trick in his book when the card is only thought of and never taken out of the deck. That's amazing. Now, Roland's Younger says, what's your thoughts about prop and stage stuff? But there's a question from Nigel Quinn directed to you, Craig. Are you at the Magic Circle headquarters for your lecture, or is it online?
I'm live and in person.
Ooh, baby. And he asks me, I hope as well, there's a virtual Magician of the Year on tonight from the Magic Circle. So that's the competition, right, for the virtual Magician of the Year.
Yes, it is.
Looking forward to your Live and Unleashed. There was a question I wanted to ask you, Craig, from King OK, who says, can you show us a trick from your penguin lecture?
Oh, fuck off.
By the lecture.
Contractually, I don't think I'm going to be allowed to.
But you could say what sort of stuff is in there. You could give people a little tease of what you're going to type of magic you're going to be teaching.
I wanted to put together I wanted to put together a lecture that was all based around stuff that you find in your bottom drawer, stuff that you buy that you don't use, or you buy it and you use it exactly the same way as everybody else. I wanted to kind of put together a lecture where it's like, okay, I'm now going to go running to try and find that stuff that I put in my bottom drawer because now I've got a use for it. So it's all stuff like that. So there's a combination of card material, coin material, and a little bit of mentalism. And it's all wrapped up into one big sexy package.
How many hours long is it? That's the real question, because Quantum Deck was 5 hours long.
Well, I put it this way. I had to wake up Eric Tate 4 times.
Did you actually?
Really. No, I didn't. I can't pull
It was only 3 times.
It's. I think he told me it was 3.25 hours to 3.5 hours, but that was just the explanations. Then I did a 45-minute show, which is the live performance. So you're probably looking at about 4 hours.
Fucking hell. By the way, we were talking about wallets and things. I found did I show you this in the week that I found the coolest use, or one of the coolest things you can do with an Orphic wallet?
Yeah.
Is if you take...
Yes, oh, it's amazing. So, I tell you what, Nemid is going to love that.
All right, let me see if I can... So if
Nemid does that principle a lot.
Okay, I'll do this then. So if I put the flash on my phone, so you can all see where this is kind of going on. And I got my Orphic wallet, like you can all see here. Oh, man, I've got... If I take a photo of it, like this, let me see. This work? You can see there's a 2 of hearts appeared in it. So, so you guys all know the appearing like photograph trick from, it's called the rainbow card, right? From SEO Magic.
SEO Magic, yeah.
Well, I found that because they sell the single playing card version of it, so I can show you guys at home how that looks. So if it's a black piece of card. When you flash a photo on it, this is not very good quality, but the playing card appears. But it fits perfectly into an Orphic wallet. Like that. Which is really cool. But I thought what would be a nice way of doing it, most people probably think that they're doing it to make the card appear. So you'd have a card chosen, they would like hold your wallet for some reason, and the card would appear. But I thought it'd be cool if you like had a two of hearts. That was not planned. Fuck. But you'd say to somebody, here, hold the wallet. And like, so they're looking at the back of it. And you say, I'm going to place it inside. But you actually place it underneath. Right? Then you take the photo of it. So it's them holding the wallet with the 2. And you can either close the wallet up for them. Or just have them like keep hold of it away from themselves. And then that 2 would vanish. So instead of it appearing and then them not being there, you use it as a vanish in their hands, but the photo's on their phone.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I don't know, just an idea I was playing with this week. Tell you another thing, do you do the collector's routine at all?
You know what you can do with that, actually, by the way, just as a thought?
Yeah.
You could actually force a 2 of hearts, have it signed, have like 3 or 4 people sign it.
Yeah.
Put it inside the wallet and have them take a picture. And then you take it back out the wallet. And you have a duplicate 2 of hearts on top in the deck. So you take the 2 of hearts with all the signatures back. And you go, a lot of people ask me, why do you get the cards signed in a deck of cards? Isn't that wreck the deck? And you just say, well, at the end of the night, when I finish the gig, I just make the signatures disappear, watch, and you rub and do an Erdnase change. And when you do, all of the signatures would disappear off that 2 of hearts, which you show them. And then you say, obviously, when I take the signatures off a card, it raises all history of those signatures ever been on the card. Remember we put the card in the wallet and I took a picture of it? Have a look at that picture now. When they do, they're looking at the 2 of hearts and all of the signatures have gone off the 2 of hearts. And you put it in the wallet and you were holding on to it and then you took it out the wallet. So it's like, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of a meta type thing. So they take a picture of a signed 2 of hearts. You make the 2 of hearts, the signature disappear off the 2 of hearts. You can even use the David Williamson thing where he pulls the signature off.
Yeah.
So you do that thing where you pull the signature off, but then when they look at the picture, the signatures disappeared off
you could
the card.
you could have them write on the card in friction ink, so you could burn the signature off. Genuinely,
anything like that.
That's a great idea. That's very cool. That's something I could see working.
A little bit like that Triumph by David Blaine did it.
Double Exposure by As You Wind.
Yes, Double Exposure. Thank you.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It becomes a little bit like Double Exposure, but you don't have to have knuckle busting sleight of hand in order to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, that's incredible. Okay, we have a bunch of questions in here and comments. Let me read some. Somebody's watching from Moments Magicos Com Leodini. Hello from Angola. Wow. Don't think I've ever spoken to anyone from Angola. Nigel Quinn says, yeah, asking about this deck. Yes, the Resurrected V2 from Abraxas. I am actually absolutely in love with them. Pete Booth, did you get to see any sightseeing or do any sightseeing in America?
Did I? Fuck. I saw the P3 Magic Studio Theatre. I saw the bars when I was out performing basically this was my day. This was my day. I would wake up, I would go get breakfast, I would get ready, I'd get picked up and taken to the studio for about 11 o'clock. I would probably spend about 12 hours filming content. I would then go and grab some food for dinner, and then I'd come back and we'd be in bars till midnight filming live performances, and then it would be the same the next day and the next day. And the only day was different was when I was doing the Penguin Live, and then I was performing in the actual studio. So it was really full on. What did I see of Colorado? I saw the bars where they film all of the tricks, and I saw the P3 Magic Theatre, and I saw my my hotel room. That's it.
Michael Lawrence says, in Ohio? Lol. Like as if you're going to see sightseeing there. I've never been. It's like one of the only places, not the only, but one of the places in America that I should have gone to many times and I haven't ended up going there. But
you should go. It's really Penguin Studio is beautiful.
I had this idea, Craig, because I fucking hate the collector's routine. I tell you every week. I tell you every time we talk. But I had this idea, and the only way I could ever enjoy collectors is if I brought anything cool to the table. So I don't know if this has been done before, so I need to ask you. So I don't even know the full routine of this trick, but there's 4 jacks. I might need to stand. There's only one part of it, right? Which I'll show you why I think it's kind of cool, but it could have been done before. So 4 jacks, for real, 4 jacks. I don't know if you can see them, and we need 3 cards selected. So we'll use these. Can you see them all on camera?
I can see the jacks. I can see the 4 of hearts.
4 of hearts. So we'll put them in. 4 of hearts goes in about halfway down. 4 of diamonds again goes in about. And by the way, I'm completely butchering this effect. And the 3 of clubs. They can all be signed, which is kind of cool. So they all go into the deck, right?
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm fucking this up so bad, man. And we're going to mix the deck up. And now the jack's job is to try and find those 3 cards. Do you remember what they were?
4 of hearts, 4 of diamonds, and something. I think the 3 of clubs, but I might be wrong.
So watch. Look, if I just turn them over and snap, that's all 4 cards.
Yes.
All 4 jacks. That's the 4 of hearts, 4 of clubs. Between the jacks. So the only thing I like about this is that is the method where I'm switching the jacks for kings.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I see that. So you got the kings face up already.
Yeah, the routine is terribly thought out at the minute. So the kings face up on the bottom, and then I'm literally inserting the cards. So janky, but interlaced, right?
Right.
And then these get all cut to the top. And then once I've lost my jacks, so there's the jacks. So then the position is this is 3 kings and 3 cards alternating on top, and I get a pinky break under the 6 cards. So that's why I was like talking like a when I couldn't do it. And all I do is when I bring these jacks back, I can get the pinky break under the 6 cards and turn it all over, and now it looks like they all weave through. And if I reverse spread the cards, maybe I can up jog them as a good excuse. Maybe that will work, right? So up jog in reverse. Now when I come up and show, it's like this really nice display that it looks like they are actually between the jacks when they're kings. I don't know. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's been done before. Like obviously the handling and the routine is fucking terrible because
the concept of using the kings to hide out the jacks, I saw in Isolated Stranger, I think it was, but it was as part of a sandwich routine where one card was jumping from one place to another.
Right. Yeah, I've seen Bill Goodwin, I want to say, using a king to hide a jack in a sandwich routine at the same time as well. But I didn't know if I'd ever seen it used to hide out the display at the end of a collector's. Maybe someone out there in the comments has seen that. Or
there was something I remember publishing years ago. I'm just trying to remember it. Just give me 1 second. You keep talking. I haven't done this.
By the way, leave a comment or drop a like into the stream, guys, for Craig explaining that new idea for an ACAN, because that very well wouldn't be out of place on a product on the market on a DVD.
It was just an idea I had today. I mean, I'm going to flesh it out, but I just think it's quite an interesting. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting. I love the idea of the whole deck with cards and numbers randomly drawn on them. There's a lot more to that concept to be explored, I think.
Yeah, and I've never seen anything like that before.
It sounds like something Chris Congreve would do, because he writes all over his decks, doesn't he? Draws all over.
He does. He's a card writing guy. He does.
Clifford S. Create Magic says, "Hi guys, hope you're all well. I am A-okay. Doing pretty good." Miko Liuko, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, "Could you hide the wallet? It is a bit obvious."
Maybe. I think he's talking about my my routine.
The ACAN.
I think if the wallet was if the presentation was, I'll give you £20 if this doesn't work, and the wallet is bought out to show the money, I think it's okay. I think if you can find a way of justifying it. But in essence, you've got to switch 2 cards to 2 cards. So it doesn't have to be a wallet. It could be a double-ended envelope. It could be anything. It's just, and you wouldn't, like Lloyd said, you wouldn't need to switch them out. I just think that would be the cleanest way. But that was just like while I was playing football with my kids.
There's a million different ways you can use to. You could just force them. Do you know what I mean? Like, dude, if they were top and bottom, you could just do a cross-cut force and then have somebody look at that card, somebody look at that card.
Exactly. It's the concept of having written the bases and how you want to use the 2 cards is fair game. But
yeah, I just love the imagery of it as well. The imagery of random numbers, random cards, all of it.
This is not mine. I can't remember where I learned this from. This is the same sort of thing, but you're not having to use duplicate kings.
Okay.
So the whole idea is, I'll just do a quick mini tutorial. So you take out the 4 kings from your. I'm trying to remember this. I think this is like as old as the hills, but you're going to do Atlas with the kings. So you get a break underneath 5 cards, so underneath a face down card, and you get a thumb break on the 6th card. So you've got a thumb break on the 6th card. So you say, I've got 1, I've got 2, I've got 3, I've got 4. So in other words, over there, they think they've got the 4 kings, but you've loaded an indifferent card in between 2, and then you've got the other 2 kings there. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
You have 3 cards picked. And what you do is, as they're signing the cards or whatever, you cut the face-up kings to the middle, so you've got a break beneath them. So the first selection goes down genuinely into the middle. It goes underneath the kings. Then you riffle off 1, and you get the next king. The next card goes in between the kings. So that's the second one goes in between the kings, and you get a break, and you riffle off 1. Yeah. And the last one's going to go on top. So the last one goes on top of the kings. And then you just double undercut. What the fuck have I got a blue card there? You just double undercut and do a riffle. So it looks like the 3 signed cards have gone into the middle, whilst in reality you've actually got selection, king, selection, king, selection. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then what you do is now you can just take the kings, show them back and front, and just drop them on top of the packet. Snap, and now you can spread out and show that there's all of these 3 cards in between the kings. The only difference is this is the wrong card. It's actually here. So as you square up, you get a break underneath that card there, and you up jog 1, you up jog 2, you up jog 3 as you show these cards, and then all you do is you show these 3, and as you pull them out, you just take the bottom card along with it, a bit like a Vernon thing, so that when you just turn them over, those are the three selections. Does that make sense?
Yeah, total sense.
You just do a KM move at the end. You put the kings back over there and you're set. So it's very similar, but you're not using...
Not using any jacks.
Duplicate cards. You're using an Atlas move instead to kind of get you 2 kings ahead. Now, you could...
Yeah.
You could, thinking about that, now that concept's there, you could do the Atlas with 3 kings. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4. So all you've got over here is 1 face down card. Or
that face down card could be a king, so that when you do the KM move at the end to clean up, you haven't got to go back to the deck to ditch it.
Yeah, or you could, and I have no problem doing this sort of thing, you could just literally do the Atlas, and just when you say I'm going to put the kings to one side, you're literally just putting 1 card, Lloyd. So they think those are the kings, but
that's what I thought at first when I seen it. That could be the case, but there is a nice moment, Craig, where let me see my camera is so let's say you turn one of the kings face down secretly.
Yeah.
I'm going to use jacks, but you count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you could show one more time maybe. Place them down, and then you've got the cards. Maybe you can be in this position where there's 2 cards, so they're back to back.
Yeah.
And you need to alternate the selections now, right? So alternate. But this moment of on the table being able to look now, you could like sort of be ahead of them. You could make them think it's happened when it hasn't. You can say, look, if I start to spread the jacks, you can see there's cards face down between them. In fact, I'll pick them all up so you can see, just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
something along those lines. Because that moment of having 1 card face down, you should bring attention to it because you're ahead of them, so they think the magic's happened before the move has come into play, possibly.
Have you ever seen Paul Gertner's aces collectors?
I don't watch any fucking collector's tricks. Like I really.
But
Tyler Wilson has the best version I've ever seen.
Really?
Have you seen his? It's like you have 4 jacks like this and 3 cards, right? And then you go like this. You like shoot them, and they just immediately all interlace.
Oh, that's cool. Well, what Paul Gertner's got is he's got this really nice presentation where he takes out the 4 kings and he says he does it walk around and he says, you know what, I'm very important and I don't just perform for people for free, but I tell you what, I'm going to give each one of you a king and that's going to be 1 free card trick from Paul. So he gives 3 people a king and he says, I'm going to keep this one for myself because this is the magician's card or whatever. And all he does now is 3 side steals. So check this out. He takes he's like, right, you need a free card trick, so give me the king back. So he takes the king back, and he just does a riffle. So he says, say stop anytime you want to.
Stop.
They say stop, and he shows the card, and he just side steals that card at that point. So he says, okay, you picked a card. Now we don't need a king. And he just comes over and he makes that first king vanish using the side steal. And then he says, right, you need a card trick as well. You pass me that king. And he does a riffle for the second person. And he's basically just doing 3 side steals, which is which is loading the selections in between the kings as he's vanishing the kings. But it's this really nice presentation of, I'm going to do 3 card tricks or whatever. So the final person, he takes their king back, he vanishes that. And then he just takes their king. He takes the magician's king and he says, this is going to find everyone's cards. And all he does is he does a pass, makes that king disappear. And then when he spreads through, now in the middle of the deck are the 4 kings and there's 3 cards in between them. And they're the 3 selected cards. So
I have a theory question, which I've been mulling over this week. And it's very relevant to that presentation. And the theory question is, and I'm trying to find coins to highlight the question, but with a routine like that, you're performing the same move 3 times in a row, right?
Yes, you are, yeah.
Which, do you think it should be varied? Or do you think that you so I posted a routine called Jackass the other day. You know the 4 jacks vanish one by one?
Yes.
And that's the same method for each jack. Well, I can show it. So the 4 jacks are like this. Essentially, it's this. I'll try and rush through it. But 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Can you see on the screen? Mm-hmm. 1 vanishes. Then we say we'll do it a different way. So this time it goes like this. Next one goes, which is only 2 left. So there's only 1 here. and then the last one, there's a bunch of different methods, but you can essentially just do a terrible bottom bump. But that's the same method, right? Each and every time. Yeah. All I'm doing is I'm slightly disguising it by either flicking, shaking, one hand shake, and then the last one. Do you think so? That's kind of like that. That's me trying to hide that I'm doing the same thing over and over. With Paul Gertner's, it's the same move 3 times in a row, and it seems like from that performance that you did, like it's exactly the same. Do you think it's better to try and change it up each time so the laymen are constantly caught off guard, or do you think it's better to perform it? Because like there's 3 flies where the move looks the same 3 times in a row.
I think it's a good question. I don't think it's too much of a problem. I think when you're performing in a gigging situation and there's people all around and they've all got drinks, and it's kind of like, I think that if you're having the cards picked the same way, it's giving your actions a uniformity of action. It's kind of like if you have 3 cards picked and you have 1 card by riffling down the deck, 1 card by spreading the deck out, and 1 card by, I don't know, doing some sort of weird cut. It's kind of like, well, does that bring suspicion on your actions if everything's changing each time? If it's the same action each time, well, there's an argument to say that looks cleaner.
Yeah, this is what I've been thinking. I can't make my mind up whether it's okay or they've got more opportunity. Like they go, right, the first time I had no idea, but I'm going to watch a bit closer. Yeah, okay, I can see what's going on now. And then the third time, yeah, okay, I got him. All right, cool. Or is it like,
I mean, I was doing that quickly to camera. I mean, when you do it in a gigging situation, it's kind of like, right, you over there, fantastic, say stop, brilliant, and there's jokes in it. It's like, yes. Right, okay, remember the card, don't forget the card. If you forget the card, I'm going to have to shoot you. Make sure you remember the card. You over there, sir, can you make sure he remembers the card? Fantastic. Now, who's going to help? You're going to help. Sorry to wake you, sir, but you're going to help me. Can you just say stop? Very good. Can you remember that card? And I'm doing the move completely out of action. I'm not in here. It's like, okay, I'm going to do the move. I'm going to do the move. But in this situation, when I'm performing and there's a big crowd around me, the move doesn't happen immediately after. It's like, right, look at that card. Can you remember it? Fantastic. If you forget it, can you lie and say yes, because that'll make me look good? I've got a reputation to uphold. Thank you very much. It's kind of like there's banter, there's presentation, at which point nobody's even looking at the move. And I think that's the most important thing that people forget about when you're actually performing magic, which is when you're performing magic for real people. You don't have to have the best technique in the world as long as you're an engaging performer who's able to kind of, string a conversation along and banter with people. You can kind of get away with pretty much anything. And a lot of the time when I'm performing in the real world, the move that I've got to do, it might wait 15, 20 seconds. I might get into a conversation about something else. Somebody might mention something and I'll go to that. And I've stopped doing a trick. I was doing card in the box about 3 weeks ago. And I stopped my card in the box performance mid-on because somebody said something to me. I went in and I did that. And I was like, where were we? Oh, yeah, card under the box. Let's carry on. And I think that you have to have that ability when you're performing in the real world. When you're in an environment like this, and people are just watching you, if you were doing a virtual show or something, is the same move going to look suspicious if you do it a third time? If people are studying you, maybe, but nobody ever studies my movements when I'm performing.
I suppose the question then is, if you've got the option to do both, if you can either have it presented identically three times in a row, or you can change it up, what would you go for?
I suppose for me, it's whatever is the simplest, whatever is the most direct way of doing something. I try to keep things as direct and simple as possible. Now, simple doesn't mean easy. The simplest way to control a card a lot of the time is a pass. It doesn't mean it's an easy, but it's simple. It's the most direct way to do something. Take my multiple selection routine, for example, which I do all of the time. What I do when I do multiple selection is I just do a riffle force 10 times. So I'm like, say stop, riffle off 1. Say stop. Because that way I don't have to have the 10 cards returned. I don't have to control them in one action. And normally when there's 10 people around, they're all over the place. I'm, not having to reach over people to get to them. You could argue doing a riffle force 10 times to 10 individual people is bad way to do it. But for me, it's the simplest and most direct way, because for me, that's the procedure. When you look at multiple selection, that's the procedure. Getting people to pick the card, that's the procedural moment. That's the bit that's boring, the bit that's interesting.
I actually haven't seen your revelation for the... What revelations do you use for a 10 card?
Oh, I wing it.
Do you?
Yeah, I approach multiple selection a little bit like a
jazz.
I'm jazzing it. I'm just winging it. It's not... I know where I'm starting and I know where I'm ending. I'm always ending with a deck vanish, because I think that's the best way to end a multiple selection routine, vanishing the deck. So at the end, I make the deck disappear. Or I do this thing that I published in Pool Ball Miracles, which is the last card is an eight of spades. And I finish off by making... I finish off by making by taking the 8 of spades, making the deck vanish, except for the 8 of spades. And I finish off by taking the 8 of spades and turning it into an 8 ball. So I know where I'm ending with it. A lot of the time I'm ending there. And I was
thinking about that bloody ending 2 days ago. Is it John Bannon thing, a black 8 ball ending?
He was the first person to do something with the black 8.
It's such a beautiful idea.
Trick shot production in Smoke and Mirrors, which was the idea of holding it behind a card case and shaking it out of the card case. And it's been taken in different directions since then. But my favourite way of using an 8 ball, and I haven't got one on me, is forcing having on top of the deck. Having on top of the deck a 2 of spades and an 8 of spades. So you've got a 2 of spades on top of the deck and you've got an 8 of spades. And then you have a pool ball in your pocket, in your left-hand pocket. So what you do is you force the 2 of spades on top of the deck, right? So you force the 2 of spades, you have the card put back, and you control it to the top. So you've got the 2 of spades on top, then you've got the 10 of spades, and you say, right, I'm going to try and find your card. Give the deck a fancy cut. I normally use a butterfly cut. And then you do a double turnover, and you say, there you go, I got your card. It was the 2 of spades. And they're going to say no. And you turn the double back down, and you take the 2 of spades off, and you're holding it here. And you go, it wasn't the 2 of spades. And they go, no. And you put the deck into your pocket and you palm out the pool ball. So now you load the pool ball behind the 10. You say, well, it wasn't a 10. Was it black? And they go, yeah. And you go, what was it? And they go, the 2. And you go, oh, it was 8 off. Don't worry, I'll just knock 8 spots off. And you do this and you shake down and just a pool ball appears. And it's just an 8 of a pool ball, and you go, well, hang on, there you are, that's 8 spots. And when you turn the card round, now it's the 2 of spades.
I actually just found a live performance footage of me doing a live performance of the way I use an 8 ball. So I won't bore everyone with the full thing, but force a number, force a word. And there was a prediction on the table beforehand on a piece of paper, like a scroll of paper like this long, like the length of a pen. So it matches the number. I'm going to turn the volume up.
No, what was the word? Got the number, the word.
8 ball.
8 ball. So watch this, right? 8 ball.
So they take the number.
That's all your choice, right? So the word you were thinking of was 8 ball.
When you turn the number upside down, it's going to say 8 ball.
But wait. We'll do it one step further. You can see that it says 8 ball. Who has a lighter?
So like the number was like 217 GHT or yeah.
Is that impressive, by the way?
You are?
Is that impressive, by the way?
No, rabbit. Yeah.
So light. Ready? What was your word?
8 ball. Fuck off.
That's cool.
Fuck you. But it's just a fun way of taking a number cryptex, making it become the word 8 ball, and then revealing an 8 ball.
That's pretty cool.
But I used to carry an 8 ball around with me all the time just to do that. The things you do.
Very. I've lost my phone, Lloyd.
Shall I call it for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think you should. I've literally. Oh no, I was sitting on it.
Oh,
Got
you
it.
fucking idiot. Okay, so we got some questions coming in here and some things. Jordan Davis says Danny Deotis has an epic download talking in depth about impromptu dupes, and it's epic. It's his weapons project. Punk BMX has finally got the confidence to perform a trick for my wife, and I picked Cognito, and it blew her away. If you remember, Greg, Punk BMX was talking about confidence last week, and he wanted a confidence to perform.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
amazing. Punk BMX, dude, that's epic. Tell us more about the situation. Keith Porter says about the trick from Bill Goodwin, possibly on Reflections or maybe Still Waters DVD. And we have KOK. I think like McDonald's Aces, you should do it different a bit every time. So that's when there someone says Night Strike Me says it depends on the situation. I think this goes back to referring to changing up whether your presentation should be the same or different. And then Jordan Davis says Aldo Colombini's fireworks control is dope as fuck.
Oh, it is. It's great.
Oh, here's a good question. B the Magician says, how did you two meet?
Well, this is going to be my last question because my dinner's ready in 2 minutes.
Perfect.
I interviewed Lloyd. We didn't really know each other at all.
I was terrified, by the way.
Why were you terrified, dude?
So not like scared of you, as in like from like rants or anything, but I put you on a pedestal, like rightfully so. But all the magic, like you were one of the biggest releasers ever, and you went off into the ether, and then you messaged me to interview me after I'd seen you were interviewing some fucking huge names, and I was like, fuck no. I remember telling my wife, I was like, oh my god, Craig Petty's just messaged me. And I remember exactly. I was in the kitchen. I remember exactly where I was, and she was like, who is he? I was like, oh my god, Katie, right, Craig Petty. And I just went off in this massive rant about how brilliant you were. And she was like, all right.
And the interesting thing is, we set the interview up, and I've never had this happen before or since on a Talk Magic interview on my channel. We arranged the interview for like 10 o'clock in the morning. And at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, after 7 hours of chatting, we hadn't actually started the interview. And I turned around to Lloyd and I said, it's been 7 hours. I think we need to reschedule for tomorrow morning. And he was like, yeah, you're probably right. So we had a 7-hour conversation and just at no point even started the interview.
No.
And then the next day, we actually did the interview at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that was a mammoth one that went on till about 2. And Lloyd's just one of these people who is just incredible in so many different ways, and I can just literally every time I have an idea, I call Lloyd because
I'm exactly the same with you. Every time I have an idea, you are and you always improve them, which is slightly annoying. I'm like, Craig, what if I could do this? And he's like, yeah, but it could be better. Like, fuck. Okay, well, now it's a joint project. Fuck. And that's why we have so many joint projects.
Yeah, right. But it's the same. Like I've the quantum deck. I mean, I think I mentioned it on the tutorial. You made it so much better. Because I came to you and I was like, "This is the quantum deck. This is what it does. This is and you were like, "Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool." Thought about doing this. I was like, "Fuck, why didn't I think of that? That makes it so much better."
Well, I think I'm only able. I call it. You know when you're snowblind, when you've looked at your own method for so long. Like you would have come up with the same ideas a million times over, but you just needed to have that fresh set of eyes on it, because you were just absorbed in it. I know you got off of food, but really quickly, Rich Relish finally just joined in the stream, and he says, afternoon. Rich Relish famously is the one responsible for you having ink on your arm.
Fuck you, sheep fucker. I got fucked by
Great.
2 Watchmen.
Have you booked your Magic Live tickets or flight yet?
No, but I believe I'm going.
Yeah. I have to decide tomorrow. Tomorrow's my deadline to decide.
Come on. Why would you not want to go?
I'm just a lazy pig of a man.
You're not. Come on. Come to Magic Live. Hey, you know what else you should go to? Fissam's this year.
I know. In Quebec?
Quebec.
Are you going to that?
The same situation as to why I'm probably going to Magic Live has also arisen with Fissam.
Oh.
Sorry to be cryptic, but I can't say anything yet, but you know what I mean.
Oh, well, Fissam. I love Magic Live, but I've done Vegas so many times. It's just, I like going to places that I haven't been before. So that's for me, it's like a reason to not go. Be the Magician says, Lloyd, am I joining Netflix? Lloyd, are you joining Netflix? Netflix even. Officially, yes, I am on the Netflix. Craig very kindly asked would I be a part of it, and I jumped at the chance.
I asked Lloyd I asked my marketing team to put a post together to put on Instagram, which I did on Friday, and they've used Chubby Lloyd.
I know, yeah.
I need to have a go at them and take Chubby Lloyd off and put Sexy Lloyd on.
Thank you. That's actually a good point. I don't know what to teach everyone on Netflix. So could you comment below, especially if the video ends soon, so I can see it in posterity? I don't know. To anything you'd like to learn from me. It could be a trick that I've taught elsewhere before, or it could be you want to know what my thoughts are on whatever premise.
The nice thing about the platform is we can do anything. We can have Lloyd talk about theory. We can have him teach a trick. I mean, you've seen how the platform works. We can have individual courses on anything, and we can break it down step by step.
Yeah, I love that, because there's some things that I like that I've never had the platform to teach or talk about before, but are interesting things, just like a slight which would be a miss on my YouTube channel, because it would be, neither here nor there, but also something which could actually massively benefit people to learn. And there's things like that. There's also just like theory or tricks that it could be a challenge, which I fucking love. It's just people saying, I want to see you do anything, and I can go off and create it or attempt to create it. Rich Relish says he was blackmailed into it, by the way.
I don't believe him.
David says, hi Craig, my quantum deck is sitting around in an airport in Quebec waiting for it eagerly.
That's funny. I'm trying to find something very quickly.
I'll talk while you do that.
Because I've got to go for food, but I just want to show you. Okay, so here we go. So you talk about teaching a sleight. That's what Daniel Chard's on there.
Wait. Is this the very ever first preview of the Netrix?
Yeah, this is it.
Shit!
I've just gone on there, and I'm going to open up the Action Palm performance of the Netrix, because one thing that Daniel's doing is he's teaching some sleights. He's kind of the sleight guy. So this is the performance of Daniel Chard's Action Palm. Look how good this looks, Lloyd.
So here is a performance of the Action Palm. So this is a movement that allows you to simulate the cutting of a normal pack of this as you square up. You have 4 cards in palm. And again, this can be done with a single selection, in this case, a Jack of Hearts. It looks like you cut into the center of the pack, like a square, and you have this card in complete palm. Okay. So now let's get into the explanations.
Jesus Christ.
So Daniel's putting some hardcore sleights on there. He's not doing routines, or he is later, but he's got on there tons of really hardcore sleights.
Wow. Also, I'm going to totally use a thumbnail saying first peek at the Netrix to get some views.
And do it. He's got, and then he's got some insane stuff with multiple add-ons using the same thing. So
here's a fun bonus idea that you can use to basically use it as an add-on. So in this case, you would show a couple of random cards on top, and in the case of cutting the deck, you have
Oh.
We have friends. We have friends.
In real time. So you would have the cards here, and a couple of cards you have positioned those aces exactly where you need them to be. These would be stolen from a pocket or wherever you want to do that from. So the idea is that you would have the 4 aces.
So there you go. He's doing some. I remember watching that, and I was like, "How is he doing that?"
That was fucking insane. B the Magician says, will there be a Discord for the Netrix?
There is a built-in community in there. So there's a community which is like a cross between a discussion forum, Discord, and also a Facebook group where you can post videos and photos, and it's all within the Netrix itself.
Beautiful.
So there's actually 3 communities with different spaces where people can talk about whatever they want to talk about and post videos on anything.
Liam says, how much will it cost? Can you tip that yet, or is that sort of still in the wraps until launch day?
We're still just dotting the I's and crossing the T's on that.
Yeah, I'd say let people find that out on day dot.
Yeah.
King OK says, Craig, your triumph from the Blackpool lecture is so good. I use it almost every day now.
Well, you can learn it from the Netrix if you haven't seen it and you went to Blackpool. It's on launch.
Brilliant. Rich says, is there a place for requests on Metric where subscribers can ask for specific people their thoughts on specific effects, bot moves?
It's a twat. Sorry, Nemid Phoenix is a twat. He's on the live and he's just texted me going, beep, just in case you didn't put your phone on silent after that texting on the live. He's an asshole. Nemid Phoenix is an asshole.
Absolute
is
bastard.
yeah, so in the community, there's a place where you can actually request particular uploads from creators or particular uploads from the Netrix. So if there's a particular thing you want me or anyone else to talk about, like you want to have a video on, I don't know, whatever, then there's a place in the community and we can then make it happen.
It's so exciting. I can't wait for people to see behind the curtain.
The most important thing is, and I've got to go for my dinner now, but the most important thing is, love me or hate me, you can take it to the bank that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. You know, I mean, look at Magic TV. If you know, I said that I was going to do videos an insane amount every single week, and even when I was going to Blackpool, even when I was going to America, even when I'm like running around the country, I'm still able to do the videos every single week. So the upload schedule of 5 new tricks a fortnight, as well as all the theory and stuff, that's absolutely doable because I committed to it, so it's going to happen. And we've got the first 4 months of releases already in the bag and ready to go.
I cannot fucking wait. Can you please send me over my login details?
It'll be for you tonight, yeah. I mean, you saw some of the stuff that Justin Miller's putting on there.
Jesus.
Like that transpo that you saw.
Yeah. The Miller stuff alone is worth it, but the Miller stuff alone is going to change all my routines that I do when I perform. And that's just one of the artists. I only seen a handful of effects, and there's how many effects did he give you?
Launching with 100, then another 5 every fortnight.
Boom. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I want my. I told you before.
I'll be with you after my dinner.
Yes, guys. Everyone, drop a like on the video and say bye. Thank you to Craig. You shared some amazing ideas today.
You're more than welcome. I'll be back on again, hopefully next Sunday. I've got nothing else on, so why not?
That was a proper magic jam. This is what we want to do for you guys, is properly magic.
I love you all. My wife's going to kill me.
Dinner.
I've got to go. Lloyd, you're amazing. Goodbye,
You're
everyone.
amazing too. Thank you, dude. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Everyone else, I'm going to stay here for 5 more minutes.
We're going to have to film the podcast tomorrow morning, else I'm going to be away and we're not going to be able to film it. I'll call you later.
Bye, dude. All right, that was Craig, everyone. What a fucking legend. So let's just jump into these. Keith, ta-ta for now. Yes, mate, go and enjoy the rest of your birthday, Keith. Thank you for joining us. Punk BMX says this is Punk BMX, everyone I'm talking about now. He said that he performed, I think it was for the first time the other day, was kind of nervous, and he mentioned that he wanted to last week, and he's done it. He performed Cognito, and he says, we were sat at the table with our daughter, and I just blurted out, do you want to see a trick? And her face lit up. I love performing Cognito and how strong it was. You guys gave me the confidence. Dude, that is seriously, seriously awesome. And actually applaud you for saying, do you want to see a trick? Because that's the thing that I struggle the most with as a magician is those words. Do you want to see a trick, or can I show you some magic? I actually have some good advice for you if you want to hear it, and it comes from something Greg Wilson talked about, and I found that it does something else to affect it. But if you are talking to a stranger or family and friends, and you talk about magic. So like Greg's example is that he says to somebody, hey, what do you do for a living? They say, I'm a banker. He goes quiet, and just common courtesy, they are forced to ask you what you do for a living. When you say magician, or what you do, you say, I'm a magician. The next question everybody will ask you is, can you show me a trick? And there you've got your in to perform without you having to ask, which changed. I learned that from him like 15 years ago at a lecture in Cardiff, and that changed. That literally day one made me able to perform more confidently and as a performer. But what I found from it is that I don't get hecklers. I don't. So that means I have the confidence to perform magic, because when they say, can you show me a trick? I say, nah, a few times. And I get them to basically like beg me to do magic. And because of that, it's like if you do a favor for somebody, if somebody says, oh, will you please run down to the store and pick me up something? And then you go, no. And eventually you go, oh, fine, I'll do it. And you go to the store and come back with whatever they wanted. Nobody gives you shit because you were too fast or too slow or whatever. I find the same thing. When I get people to say, talk about magic, and then they find out and then they ask me to see a trick. Then I once or twice say, oh, I don't know, like I basically don't shut them down, but I give them the smallest amount of hope so that they will ask again, and then I can show them magic, and they don't heckle me because I'm doing them a favor. They're literally thankful. They're like, please, please, please. Oh my God, that's amazing. No one ever goes, well, that's how you do, because they're just too courteous, and they help me with confidence so much. So you can do a million different things. Dan Rhodes is in the chat. What's going on, Dan? Dan, you've just missed the entire session. We're just about to log off for the day, but it'd be good to catch up with you, Dan, and have a chat, and maybe get you on here one week for a laugh and go over some things. But we shared some cool ideas. Craig shared a really interesting any card at any number, talked about some collector's routines, and we went over some things. At the very start of the show, I showed everybody this thing that I taught the other day. If you want to see it, Dan, let me see if I can show this on camera real quick. So I don't know if you've seen this on the channel, but two genuinely normal jokers, aside from the fact that they have holes in them. And what we're going to do is place them in like a V for Vendetta shape. If you shake, a card will appear really badly between them. We taught on Saturday, yesterday's video, we taught how to make this, but we just showed it again today. Let me show that visual one more time before we shut off the stream. But that didn't work at all. I'll really quickly run everyone through the gimmick one more time. So here, you can get a full card to appear. That was terrible. But yeah, it's just a gimmick that does this. So when you're here, you cover the hole for a second as you cop in the gimmick. So here, cop in the gimmick. Underneath, I'm just going to bring this back to peel off that single card, and then that just heals up. There you go. So that was at the beginning of the live stream. Anyway, everyone, hope you had a good session today. Rich, yes, let's jump on a call this week for sure. I can see you in the chat there. Jordan says, hello, how would you approach people at a cocktail bar and get them engaged and existed to see some magic? That's a topic for another week, so for next week. So can you come back in, Jordan, next week and ask that question? I'll run you all through how I would do it if I was ever to go and approach strangers to show them magic. But everyone else, thank you all so much. And yes, you can all come back in and watch this back later and see all the good stuff. But until next time, folks, see you on Tuesday for another Tutorial Tuesday. And that biddle trick that we spoke about, what I said that I'd come up with a new way of doing a biddle trick which amps it up. I think I'm going to do a live performance and tutorial for it. So tune in on Tuesday. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. Big fan coming in from India. India's my favorite country in the world. I always talk about it. I love it down there. But you guys clear part 2 banknotes for that routine too. Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Rich. Bloody hell. But yes, so I'm trying to log off. You guys keep asking questions. Come back on Tuesday for Tutorial Tuesday. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and then hit the notification bell so you know when the video goes up. And I'll come back next week and we'll talk about all these questions, and we might even have Craig on you hopefully, and maybe some more special guests. Until next time, folks. See you on Tuesday.